Hello YouTube world, Mac Daddy 1911A1 here with the Shade Tree Survivalist. I'm dedicating this video to Det Man 101. And he had asked some questions the other day about a 1911 and the different controls on it, and I wanted to make a video to clarify. He is thinking about purchasing one in the near future. Regardless of what gun you buy, this here is your most important tool. Okay, the owner's manual. If you decide to buy a used handgun and it does not have a user's manual, you can order one for free from the company, and a lot of them nowadays have a digital copy. You can download it right to your computer, and I suggest you print that sucker off. Use your printer at work if you have to. Go to Staples, whatever the case may be, but print this baby off and keep it handy. Lot of really good information on every aspect of owning a handgun or rifle or shotgun. Your owner's manual is your greatest tool to have handy. Keep it where you can have access to it while you're cleaning it. Ever so often reread it as a refresher. It is just absolutely essential you keep these. Alright, onward and upward. I brought out my my original 1911, my stainless steel model, so you can see it a little bit better. I think it'll contrast a bit better and show up on video quite a bit better than the all black. This is a Springfield Armory 1911A1 N45 ACP. It is a loaded standard. It has all the modern additions to make it a little bit easier to shoot and a little bit more reliable than the original 1911. Some of the things you want to look for is an extended thumb safety here. Okay, this is what is the primary way of safing the weapon. You want to have it a little bit wider and a little longer than the standard original model, and you can go back and look at some photographs online. Just punch in original 1911 and then save them and compare them to current 1911A1. This is one of the additions that is essential. The other thing is an arched mainspring housing. Helps prevent, and you can see it there, helps prevent you from shooting low with sights that are not adjustable. If you have adjustable sights, this is not necessary. And it will look similar to this. It'll be flat. Okay? And you can adjust your sight so you're shooting dead on the target versus not. The other thing you're wanting to look for, depending on the length of your finger, is the trigger length. You have this short trigger, you have a medium trigger, and you have a longer trigger, such as this. And you can see the two side by side, a short and a long trigger. Okay, there's quite a bit of difference. I prefer, and it is better for me to have a shorter trigger because of the length of my hand. Okay, a medium trigger probably would be actually best, but this is what it had when I got it, and it works really, really well. Just better double check that, I suppose. Another thing is on a new 1911, you want to make sure that the ejection port has been lowered and flared. The original ones would come out right about here with the line, and they were reliable, but occasionally it would the cartridge would be underpowered and it would fail to eject it completely. You will see in this video how to remedy that. I've already shot those sections actually. If you're going to be doing some target shooting, a Bowmar style adjustable rear sight is a plus. If you are concealed carrying like I do, that is not a good idea. They are very sharp and they will tear your hands up. Now this is Springfield's proprietary rear sight, but I guarantee you it is a Bowmar sight because it's exactly like it. For target shooting with iron sights, there's not many that are better. A newer modification will be an extended beaver tail such as this. Is very elegant looking with what they call a speed bump, and it's a hump to help ensure that the tang safety, okay, which is considered a passive safety because it automatically comes on when you is deactivated when you grab the gun. But that speed bump helps people with flat palms here. They're really flat, like Chemo, for instance. Mine, I've got that big muscle there, that big hump in my hand, so when I grab it, I don't have much of a problem with it. Okay, next thing is the magazine, how to eject in the magazine. That's what the button here is. A lot of people confuse that with a safety. That is not a safety. You put a magazine in, you push that button, it'll kick it right out. If the magazine spring is still stout enough. A thing, most of these guns, the low end models, and if you start out with one, you're going to have to deal with this. The front of the magazine well here is very smooth. So when you fire it, that gun will tend to move around in your hand. You can buy a Packmeyer decelerator grip with the finger notches to eliminate that, or to help eliminate that problem. But, and this is something stupid, I'll never understand it. Maybe it's because the basic loaded model has enough steel so you can go back and have it custom engraved like the back strap on this one. But it's thicker on this gun, and that decelerator will not fit this gun. And if you buy it, they will not take their money back. A lot of the places, even though you know it wouldn't fit, you can't use it. You know what? So when I bought this gun, I mean, it fit this one. It blew my mind. It should be completely standard across the board, but apparently not. Okay, up here, this lever is the slide lock, and what its job is, when the last shot is fired, the magazine will push it up and lock it. See that little square notch there? It will push that lever up and lock it. But this one here is extended. This one here is not. This is what you want. The one that does not have that extended piece out there. Because if you shoot thumbs forward like I do, like this, your thumb that is sitting on the thumb safety here will interfere with it, and you will hit it, and what will happen is it will not lock back. Okay, avoid this if you can. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought that was cool as all get out when I first bought the gun. But if you're shooting there with as much flesh on that grip as possible, and you got your thumbs forward, you're going to end up hitting it. Even if you shoot like Cooper did with his left hand thumb on top of it, it's right on top of that damn thing. See that? And it's pushing it down. It won't allow the slide to lock back. Okay, here's an empty magazine. If you're not interfering with this, this is what it's supposed to do. Lock it back, no problem. That way it's a visual indicator, and I mean you'll get to where you'll instantly know, you'll be able to notice it, okay? And you're empty, so you can roll the gun over, check the magazine. But that same empty magazine in there, see, it won't even release it. If your thumb's on there, you're pushing down on it, it will not hold it. You move your thumb, and it works perfect. That dadgum thing's got to go. One of these days, I'll get around to it. 1911 is the most customizable handgun on the planet. For instance, you've got the difference in the slide lock. You've got the differences in the safeties. Check out the differences in the hammers, differences in the beaver tail, and so forth. The differences in the magazine release, the differences in the trigger, the differences in the sights. For instance, this front sight has been beaver tailed into the slide. You see, there's been a cut made into it, and it's slid in, and then there's a pin through it to keep it straight. You can get different barrels, different bushings, different slide lengths, different length triggers, different kinds of grips, wood grips, plastic grips, metal grips, checkered the mainspring housing, which is also known as the back strap, and the front strap, have it checkered, diamond, oh man, you name it. There are hundreds of different differences, I mean, and custom additions you can add to a 1911. It is like the AR-15. AR-15, there's literally thousands of manufacturers who make parts and pieces that you can customize it to. If you get an M&P or a Glock or an XD, one of these polymer pistols, there's not as much as you can that you can do with it to customize it, to beautify it, to personalize it to your taste. There are things you can do to them, and they are really good shooting guns, no doubt. But they're ugly and blocky. Look at the difference in the width of the slide. This is a full-size 45 caliber handgun. It's etched. I mean, it's stamped right in there. 45 auto. This is a 40 Smith & Wesson. There's quite a bit of difference in the cartridge size. Here's a 45 snap cap that is almost exactly approximates a live cartridge, but it's not. And here's a Smith & Wesson 40 cal. So you can see there's quite a bit of difference. You can see them side by side there. Let me get them turned. So there's quite a bit of difference. Okay, let's discuss sights before I forget it again. This is a Bomar style target sight that I've added some white paint to. And I did a really crappy job, but it works. I can pick the sights up pretty good. You got 3 dots, sort of. But this is bad news for concealed carry. I'll just be honest with you. But I make that a 1911 A1, and whatever I decide to buy, and I buy it, and it has something that's not exact, I make it work, and I don't stress over it. However, if you're going to buy a gun, you intend to conceal carry, buy one with low profile sights that won't gouge in hell. These got a little bit of a sharp edge on them, but not nearly as bad as that. But you try to buy some low profile sights. Okay, unless you're target shooting and you really need to adjust it, buy the low profile sights. Novak makes a really, really good smooth sight. You won't rip your hands all to pieces. Try to buy them that have been dovetailed. They have a dovetail in the slide on the front and on the rear. So if you decide you don't like this sight, you can pop the pin out of this one and the Allen screw out of this one. You can drive them out and you can have new ones installed real easy. Oh, I just was outside with Kimmo. She just got off work, so let me make sure I'm empty. Don't get them like this. Okay, that one's pinned in, and it is a pain in the neck. And if it's a Springfield Armory, they have their own size pin. It's a medium pin, and it is a freaking pain in the neck. You got to buy a specific sight. If it's dovetailed like this gun and like this gun, okay, both dovetailed, it's not too hard to change the damn sights. But if you're starting out with a starter gun, and you're not going to have all these extra features. That's all there is to it. If you buy a real cheap version of these, like the Glock, has a plastic front sight. Get the hell out of here. That's stupid. Don't buy plastic. Now this is something else. Is that plastic? I think this daggum safety on here is plastic. I may be wrong on that. Give me some iron, baby. Give me some steel. That's what I'm talking about. I want some iron. I want to be able to beat them down with it if I run out of ammo. Okay? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful design. Tough as jailhouse cornbread. I don't think they feed quite as good as one of these newer modern ones with the barrel that goes up at the cockeyed angle. See how cockeyed that is? That looks so straight. I mean, just weird. But they still are a wonderful gun. A wonderful, wonderful gun. You can go with a revolver. Okay, like this one here. Let me double check. Yep, it's empty. This is a Speed 6 by Ruger. It was replaced in production by the GP100. But generally they are very expensive. Okay, they are $700-800 for a standard model with nothing special. The rear sight has been milled into the frame here. It's not as easy to change sights, but they are 100% reliable, unless it's a piece of junk. When you buy a handgun, a rifle, whatever, if you buy a foreign gun, the pins and stuff, the sights, everything is metric, and nothing American made, which is standard, will fit it. As simple as it gets. Most of the 1911 frames and slides are made overseas now. Not all of them. There are some really good Les Baer, Wilson Combat, and so forth. They are all American made. So if that's important to you, and if I'd have known it when I bought this gun, I guarantee you I would have bought a different gun. I would have got one that was 100% made in America. Didn't know it, so I bought it. Well, I did when I bought the Range Officer, but I wanted a black gun to carry on my combat rig. Pumpkin, get down. You are a pestering pest. Get down. Now, aesthetics. I want you to check out the width of the slide on this baby and the width of the slide on this baby. I may have covered this already, and if I have, I'm sorry, but these are blocky like a damn brick. These are long, slender, elegant, and shooting a big damn bullet, okay, versus a smaller bullet. There you go, right here on the damn table, okay. Okay, here's your 40 cal snap cap. Here's your 45 ACP. Quite a bit bigger bullet. Like I said, the slides, you look at them side by side. They say that a 1911 is too big and too damn bulky. Get the hell out of here. This gun is a lot smaller, easier to carry as far as the bulk than this one. This one is heavier than this one because this one's got a plastic polymer frame. I'd rather have my steel, thank you very much. Now, if you want a polymer gun, go for it. Whatever cranks your tractor. Mine's got a steel, both of them have a steel trigger. This one's got a plastic trigger, a two-piece trigger. The Glocks have a little blade that is in the center of the trigger. And hey, it may work a million years. Then again, it might break. I think I'll keep my steel or aluminum. All right, the face of it, I think they call this the shoe. I may be wrong on that. It's been a while since I've looked at my nomenclature, but the rest of it that goes around the mag well into the back that actually actuates it, it is all steel, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Now, if you're left-handed, you can get a 1911 with a ambidextrous safety, where it works on both sides, like this one here. Okay, it's got a safety on either side, so if you're left-handed, you can actuate it, no problem. You can reverse the magazine release, because the controls on this are almost identical in the way they're set up to a 1911 A1, but not all guns are, so that's something you need to think about. And this one here, I do believe, yeah, it is reversible. Certain 1911 A1s are on the market. I think Wilson's are reversible, but I'm not going to swear to that. I may be incorrect, and if I am, oh well. But very customizable, very tough, very reliable, and you can buy them from $400 like the Rock Island Armor, all the way up to $5,000 for a high-end Les Baer or Wilson Combat custom built gun. It's custom built to your specifications. Match grade everything. What does match grade mean? It means the tolerances are so much tighter than a standard gun. This is a match grade gun. It's not a custom match grade, but it's match grade nonetheless, and it's very tight, very accurate. Much more so than your standard off-the-rack pistol. It's got all the enhancements that make it much more reliable, and it has more elegance than the standard one because of that fancy, beautiful beaver tail, the nice hammer, the skeletalized hammer, the extended thumb safety, the beautiful aluminum trigger. I mean, ooh, sexy. What can I say? Sexy. So let's do it again right quick. We're going to use the stainless steel model again. Here's your slide on top. It reciprocates forward and backwards to eject the spent cartridge case and reload the next round into the breech. Okay, this here is your slide stop, slide release. This one is extended. Like I said, that's probably not a good idea depending on how you hold on to the gun to shoot it. This one here on the rear is your thumb safety. This here is your tang safety. It is a passive safety because you don't actually activate it by making a movement. Just it is deactivated. Deactivated when you grasp the gun. So it's basically a passive safety. An active safety, you actually have to do something extra to make it work. Okay. This is your hammer. Rear sight, front sight, ejection port. Okay. Your slide serrations, you can have them on the back, you can have them on the front. You can have them, they look like scallops. You look at a Smith & Wesson 1911, you can see what I mean, what I'm talking about. This is called an idiot scratch. When I first got the gun, I don't take it apart a whole lot, so I'm not 100%. I mean, it's still sometimes a struggle to take apart, but you don't need any tools whatsoever to take it apart. It's not as easy as some of these newer ones, but you can do everything, your basic cleaning and all, you can do real easy without a whole lot of tools. And on this side, I mean, it's pretty much blank. All your controls are on the other side, but you can have all the controls ambidextrous if you want. Just depends on what it is you're willing to pay for, because when you start getting ambidextrous, you are starting to get some kind of into expensive. You can get them in blued steel, stainless steel, nickel. There's even a company called Infinity, makes a titanium model. Damascus steel, there is some very beautiful ones that are manufactured in Damascus steel. I've seen they've got all these new electro coatings. I saw one, it was a real bright green that had a zombie thing to it. The stocks, you can get all kinds of custom stocks on these things. I mean, it's just, and this is what this is called. This is a stock. Okay, this is a grip. This is a stock. Big difference. Grip, this is what you do with the gun to hold it. Stock is what that panel is. And you got one on each side, and they are completely different. This one's got a cutout so that the magazine release, you can see it moving in and out there, maybe. Yeah, you can see that. This side does not have a cut there, but it has a cut up here to go around the little tube for the plungers. And then it's got a little cutout at the bottom on both sides. But they're not, they're not reversible. You have to have the left and the right. So there you go. I hope this video answers some questions. I hope it's the quality of it is okay. One more thing. You'll get a standard stamp, black, more than likely blued, what they call blued magazine with it, maybe 2 or 3. Go and get you some Wilson Combat. They're the best, hands down. Those are the best damn 1911A1 magazines. They are expensive. They are not cheap. Each one of these are about $30 or a little higher. Worth every damn penny. Tell you that straight up. They are the bomb. I've never had the first damn hiccup with these babies. Period. End of argument. They are the bomb. And they now make them black. They'll be stainless steel, but they've got them black. And they'll work in every 1911. I mean, they just work flawless. And shit, I love them, man. They're great. But anywho, this is Mac Daddy 1911A1 with a 1911A1 and handgun video for our friend Detman 101. Make sure, don't forget that. It's like I said, this is one of your most important tools you can own as a gun owner. Your handbook, no matter what kind of weapon it is. If you buy a used gun, make sure you get a handbook. If they don't have a handbook with it, get online on the manufacturer, like this is a Springfield Armory. Go to springfieldarmory.com. And right there, if the camera will focus, is their website and their other information. No matter what the manufacturer is, by law, if you buy a new gun, they got to have a manual. By law, and by just common decency, they'll send you a manual. And most of them nowadays, you can go online and download the manual. for free. Doesn't cost you a dime. Download that sucker as a PDF file, run it through your printer, you're good to go. But anywho, I hope this helps answer some questions. And this is Mac Daddy 1911A1 signing off. Thank you very much for watching. Okay, the next most common thing is a double feed. That's where it fails to extract and eject one. The cartridge is still in the barrel, and it goes back far enough, the slide does, to strip off the next round and try to put it into the pipe. All right, I'm going to show you how to do this, or how it'll look. Alright, I hand drop one into the breech, okay, to the barrel. You don't drop a single bullet into an original 1911 and drop a slide on it and let it spring up and over the cartridge, the extractor right here, that little bitty hook that's in there. If you do that, you may break the extractor, so don't do that. Let it feed from the magazine. ASKS, same thing, prevent slam fires. M1A, same thing to prevent slam fires. I'm not sure about the carbines and all, but that's just something. Let it feed out of the magazine. Okay? Now, what happens is I've got that one in the barrel, which you could not see right now, I don't think, because of the lighting. But anyway, when the slide goes back forward, it stops. And it's wide open. And like I said, what has happened is it's trying to strip this next one down here off and put it into the barrel, but there's an obstruction in the barrel. Bam! You are screwed. Alright? The remedy that is suggested by the professionals is this. First damn thing you got to do is relieve the pressure off where it's all jammed up. How do you do that? You work it, you pull the slide back, and you see here on this one, this is the slide lock. Okay? Pull it back, you push it up with your thumb, you lock it. That relieves the pressure. Okay? Next thing you do is you grab that sucker and you rip it out of the way. Then you work the slide 3 times, 4 times, get it out, grab the next magazine, slap it home. Slap, rack, bang. Okay? That is the remedy for most of the problems you're going to find. Slap, rack, bang. The next problem you're going to have is if the magazine is not fully inserted. Okay, it's not fully inserted and it doesn't strip a round off in the chamber. So let's just say that it did that. Okay, the magazine is not quite in there and you've got an empty freaking chamber up here. Okay, so you go to pull it, it clicks and there's nothing happening. Uh-oh, we're in trouble. So what do? Roll the gun over, slap, rack, bang. Simple as that. Okay? Stovepipe. You may or may not have heard of the term stovepipe. What is a stovepipe? A stovepipe is where one of the cartridges is almost ejected. It's no longer in the breech of the barrel, and it's hung up between the slide and the hood of the barrel. It doesn't matter what kind of semi-automatic it is, it's going to look roughly the same way. Let me see, I cannot remember. Yeah, I got one in it, so. Oh. Now, this is trying to make it a video where you can see what this looks like. But anywho, there it is. You'll have the brass sticking up. It may be at an angle. So how do you get rid of that? You put your hand right over it like this here. You grab a good hold of the, with your fingers here, of the brass and a good hold of the slide. Rotate the gun. You're doing this like a slingshot, okay? You want to get that damn brass out of there. I mean, you got to clear it. I have seen guys just sweep it out of the way. I've seen guys grab it. Whatever's more comfortable for you, doesn't tear your hands up. Now, if you've got a gun with Bowmar and target size like this one here, which I do want to replace one of these days, but I may just buy a whole damn new gun and get the Novaks without all these nice sharp edges, because this damn thing's tearing me up from trying to do videos with it tonight. But you want to grab that sucker, you want to work it out of the way, and it's gone. Check the chamber, you got a daggum fresh one in the way. That's how you deal with a stovepipe. Okay? These are things you need to know, ladies and gentlemen. Double feed and all that can be caused by a a bad magazine. Okay, and I'll show you two different types so you'll understand what I'm saying. This is double stack, big fat wide body job. This is what everybody loves. Oh, I got 1,400 round in that damn thing. Well, good for you. This is single stack. Each one of these magazine feed lips at the very top control the cartridge until it's pushed to a certain point. It pops off, and I'll show you with this. The slide hits it, and it's pushing it forward, and pushing it forward, and pushing it, boom. And it pops up, and the way the chamber and the slide are manufactured, it controls it right into the breech of the barrel. It goes back forward, the barrel comes back up, and locks into place. Doesn't matter if it has a link like this one here, or if the barrel has an internal camming surface like that, or a camming surface that it rides on, and the barrel kicks up at a weird screwy looking angle like that. Good gun, does the job, blah blah blah, but give me my 1911A1, thank you very much. Here's maybe some helpful information for you guys who are brand new to handguns. Loading these damn things. You push down with one thumb on the base of the first cartridge, and believe me, these I'll do it. Okay, all right, I know what you're gonna say. Do it with an empty magazine. Okay, here's this double stack M&P magazine. I hate this damn magazine. That first bullet is a pain in the damn neck. You cannot just set it on the front and try to push it in because of the way it's designed. The way I found this easy is you push it from the left front corner. Okay, if you're facing the magazine, you're one of fixing to load it, and you're facing the back of the magazine, you'll push it down on the left hand side. Okay, like this. Push it down, because this is a nightmare, and rotate it, and it'll go in. Once you get that first one in there, the rest of them are fairly easy until you get to the last couple, because it is some kind of tight. I hate those damn things. Alright, and there's my snap cap. 1911A1 magazine. Alright, this is the original kind. It's got a little nipple right here to kick it up and ensure that it locks the slide open. Alright, you just push it down in there and push back. Duh. First round, easy as pie. The Wilson Combat magazine has a smooth polymer follower. Watch how easy this shit is. If you want a double stack magazine, you want all them extra rounds, go for it. Whatever cranks your tractor. I like my single stack. My M14 M1A, old Betsy, her magazines are easier to load than spitting in the gutter. It's too simple. I mean, truly it is. Alright, let me get my other gun. I want to show you guys something. One more thing I think I forgot to put in the video, because I was doing my editing this morning, and this is a key thing you need to understand about a 1911A1 or 1911. Now, there are a few that will be double action. Para Ordnance USA makes a double action 1911. Why, I don't know, but anywho, a single action automatic, just like a single action revolver, you can pull the trigger all day long with the hammer down. It will do absolutely nothing. Okay? Nothing. I mean, it ain't gonna do a damn thing. You have to either physically work the slide, or you have to cock the freaking hammer in order to make it go boom. Alright, let's make sure. Okay. Okay? Well, once it's fired, if it doesn't work, if the slide doesn't reciprocate, it's a dead gun. Or if you ease the hammer down and all, it is a dead gun for all intents and purposes. You can't just pick it up, aim it at somebody, and pull the trigger and it's going to do anything. You got to actually cock it on the way out of your holster, and then you can go to town. Now, here's my little old Ruger Speed 6. It's empty. It has a double action trigger. Okay. I don't know how well the camera can see this, so bright out here again today. But you can pull, if the hammer, of course the hammer's going to be down. You can pull the trigger and you see it's cocking itself. Watch. That is a very long, hard thing to do unless you got really strong fingers. Some people are really good at it, some people are not. But it's also single action. It's double action or single action. You manually cock the hammer and it's very light, very light. It's got a trigger as good or even better than my 1911. It is just very light. It doesn't take anything to fire it. So you can either double action where you got probably a 15 or 20 pound pull, or you can single cock it and you got a 1.5 pound, 2 pound pull, somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe 3 pound. I don't know. I don't have a gauge to check it, but that's something to think about. A standard government model, that's what they call this, government model 1911, is single action only. If that hammer's down, it will do you no damn gum good to pull the trigger. It won't do a damn thing. So if you got kids in the house and you're freaked out that something may happen and they may end up shooting themselves, you got a loaded magazine in it. It ain't gonna do a damn thing. Nothing. Will not hurt anyone until you jack around in the chamber. All right, now it'll go boom. All right, without that safety on it. Okay, gun's empty again. No magazine in there. You can cock it, have it ready to fire. You can have the thumb safety off. Okay, it's down, not up. When it's up, it's locked and it's safe. You can pull that trigger all day long, and if you don't depress that tang safety, it will not fire. Okay, you depress the tang safety on the back under here, the beaver tail tang safety, it'll fire. Okay, so it's got those two safety devices on it. Now, the Series 70 or Series 80 that Colt has, they have a firing pin block in there. I do not know how it works. I have never owned a real honest to God Colt. Well, I actually have one, but it was found in a barn and it's in bad shape and it's missing some parts. And one of these days, I think I'm gonna come up with the money and I'm gonna have it sent to Turnbull up there in I think it's New York, and have them remanufacture that gun. And it will be a great gun because it's an original 1911. Okay. I'm sitting here trying to remember. I don't even think it's a 1911 A1. I think it's an original 1911, but it's pitted up really bad. I don't even know if it's salvageable or if it's worth the money, other than as an heirloom. But I know I have to have a new barrel and so forth. But like I said, if the hammer is down, it can have a round in a chamber. It can have a loaded magazine in it, and it will do you no good. If that tang safety's not depressed, even if it's cocked and the primary thumb safety is off, you cannot depress it unless there's something internally damaged. And if you buy a gun, these are some checks you need to do. While it's unloaded, cock that sucker, try to push to make it fire. That's one safety check. The next one is depress that so it deactivates it. Okay, you try it, the hammer falls. Well, go back and cock it. Put the thumb safety on. You've got this one deactivated because you got it pressed in. Try to pull the trigger. The trigger doesn't fall, then that safety works. Those are two safety checks you absolutely need to do. The other thing is when you cock the slide, make sure the hammer doesn't follow the slide back forward. If that happens, then the sear and something inside of it is broke. So if you're buying a used gun, these are a couple of little checks that you can do. Another thing is you can take a pencil with an eraser. Make sure the gun is absolutely freaking empty now. No magazine, nothing in the chamber. You want to check it. Drop that pencil with the eraser down inside it with the hammer cocked back. Take all your safeties off, pull the trigger. It'll eject that freaking pencil out of there. If that pencil doesn't move, it's got a broken firing pin. All right, that's easy to replace. Okay, it's not that big a deal. It's not a big, it's a 2-minute job for a qualified gunsmith who has any brains in his head at all. It's not that difficult. Well, maybe it's a 10-minute job, but you're talking about $50 maybe, and then a new firing pin, whatever the cost of that would be. But I had to tell you about that. Double action, where you can fire it with the squeeze of the trigger. Single action where you can cock it and fire it. Single action where you cock it and fire it. But once it's fired, if there's no ammunition in it, it's not going to do anything. So like I said, you can load it, a magazine in the gun, and if one of your little toddlers somehow or another gets a hold of it, until they are strong enough to pull that damn slide back all the way to seat around in the chamber, it is completely safe. It is completely safe, okay? It's not going to hurt anybody, and that's got a loaded magazine there. It cannot load itself. So, I think that'll be considered condition 2. I can't remember all these things for whatever reason when I'm standing in front of a camera, but as long as you don't reciprocate the slide and actually load it, it can't load itself. And that goes for any automatic. Goes for any automatic. You have a loaded magazine in the gun, and you can be sitting there pulling it and it's snapping the hammer. As long as there's nothing in the chamber, it's not going to load itself until you load that very first cartridge. And then from there, it becomes a self-loading firearm using the energy from the firing of the cartridge to reciprocate the slide to the rear, unloading itself, and as it comes back forward, it strips the next cartridge off, puts it in the chamber, and when you press the trigger again, it then becomes, it then fires and starts it all over again, as long as there's ammo in it. I hope this helps. Thank you very much for watching.